You ready for my hot take?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Grab my vape while I do this. I'm gonna lead with grace. I prayed long and hard about this, and I wanted to make sure. Okay, first off, let me just pan me for a second, and I'm probably gonna make this its own upload on YouTube when I'm done editing and stuff. I'm gonna lead this with, hello, my name is Kid Casper. My saying is, God is love, love is God, lead with love. So what I'm going to speak may shock you, because I do subscribe to Yeshua the Christ, Jesus the Christ. I am a disciple of Christ. I've been saved since I was 19. I was an alcoholic by 10 years old. Tried to treat my own wounds as an alcoholic, from trauma I experienced, assault that I've dealt with, and even, in my toxicity, as victimized people in that life. God redeemed me and delivered me from my trespasses and everything. And I'm a new creation in Christ. So I said that to say, I'm speaking this out of not only grace as a disciple, but I am saying this as, you know what? I think that's good enough. Actually, no, it's not. I am saying this as, and this is like I said, this is gonna be a hot take, because we talking about, this episode is called "Where is the Vaccine for the Clandemic?" So this is what I'm going to say about the situation. Make sure can you hear me, Tyler? I can see you on my monitor. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, dog. Okay, cool. I'm gonna address people at a time. The church, disciples of Christ, and those that have an opinion on this matter, this is literally none of our business. And when I say this is literally none of our business, and I only brought this up for this to be a teaching moment, this is literally none of our concern. It was a private matter that was publicized. And for those that have been paying attention to my content and my channel lately, I firmly believe when you make a public proclamation, you deserve public criticism. Absolutely. But I have this philosophy when it comes to certain people that you do life with, divinity with, that you don't have a seat at the table. Okay? So I'm going to say this again. You do not have a seat at the table. Me and Tyler are like brothers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to pull them up on screen real quick. Me and Tyler are like brothers. Sometimes I be tripping. Sometimes Tyler be tripping. You know what I'm saying? It happens. I have to check my brother. You know what I'm saying? My brother has to check me. It happens. We laugh. We've cried together. We've in just a small window of time, there's certain things that even I think it's fair to say that I can say to Tyler that people that probably don't know Tyler can't say. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's certain things that me and him have talked about nobody else can speak of. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, there's some things that happen in Tyler's home. I have no license to give an opinion on the matter. You know what I'm saying? Whatever is happening at Tyler's dinner table ain't got sugar to do with me. Say if like, I don't know, somebody they beefing over who ate the big piece of chicken. That's not my conversation because I don't get a plate at that table. Period. So that's how I'm gonna lay the foundation. That's all I'm gonna say. Second, I discuss on the importance of divinity. What do I always say, Tyler? What is divinity to me, and what do we major in as far as divinity goes?
Accountability.
What else?
Fellowship.
Okay.
Yeah, accountability, fellowship, correction.
You want me to just I got you. So I believe in divine mentorship, relationship, accountability, stewardship. You know what I'm saying? And discipleship.
Yep.
Those 5 things. Can you see me? All right. So when I say this and I bring this up, and this is talking to people that subscribe to the name of Jesus, that are disciples of Christ. Before we judge the situation, let's make sure that our relationships, that how we operate in those relationships are correct. I'm always saying, before you can address your neighbor's house for being dirty, make sure everything in your house is clean. So as much as that we may judge for, oh, I can't believe that Kirk Franklin was talk to his son like that. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you got to talk to your family crazy. Sometimes you just got to do it. You know what I'm saying? There's ways that me and Tyler will talk. I'm not going to talk to him when a camera's recording. Not because, and listen to me, not because I'm afraid of being hurt, because I'm at this point in my life and I'm bold in my faith that what I said is what I said. But once again, accountability, relationship, discipleship. You know what I'm saying? I can shine my brother's crown. I can shine my brother's crown. The monitors have got me twisted. My dyslexia acting up. I can shine my brother's crown in private. You know what I'm saying? That was a private matter. But somebody wanted an audience. So obviously, when somebody wants an audience, the spectator's getting an opinion about this. Yep. Just like how I just had the first segment of the friendly neighborhood Negro news. Everything that is exposed to my focus wisdom, my ocular lobes, I give my thoughts on it. I wouldn't have this platform if it wasn't for things I see in the public eye, and I have witnessed. But before I speak on a thing, I got to make sure I don't see a thing in my own life. I'm never going to address. I always tell. I was just telling Tyler last week. I'm never going to address somebody for being skinny when there's a lot of turbulence in this hoodie, dog. For myself being skinny. So be careful when you are having relationship and discussing other people's relationships, because we don't have a seat at that table and we don't eat at that table. We don't get a plate at that table. So we don't have the clearance in which to speak on certain things. All right. So I always tell people, you gonna break bread with whoever you baking with. So discuss what happens at dinner at that table. Don't discuss what's happening at dinner at somebody else's table. None of our business. But once again, I understand. I'm gonna leave with grace. This was exposed to the public eye. So I get it. All right. Thirdly, though it happened in the public square, Kirk Franklin, as my brother said it, he handled it in the public square where he realized that even talking like that in private was not appropriate. That's in his heart of hearts. You know what I'm saying? In his convictions. You know, I'm always saying how you do what you do in public is what you've practiced in private. For all I know, Kirk For all I know, Kirk probably rolls down his windows and bumps the same music I be bumping and recites the same lyrics. Probably not. I don't know. I don't know. But once again, there's certain things that you do in public that you've practiced in private. So, and that's not to me to say that Kirk Franklin is wrong for speaking this way, because personally, I believe there's a difference between cussing and cursing. That didn't sound good. I'm just going to say that didn't sound good on Kirk's end. But at the same time, we are human beings. I do not know the depth of their relationship, so I'm not going to speak of the depth of the scars that they've probably put in each other, if whoever stabbed each other first in the back. If there was stabbing in the back, I don't know. Once again, their relationship, their dinner table, their dinner plate. So I'm praying for Kirk Franklin's family. I think it's amazing that he and it took a lot of bravery, vulnerability, even though this family matter, a private family matter, was exposed to the public square, he decided to remedy that in public. I respect him for that. And he has built a good rapport. And like I said, I've heard Kirk Franklin my whole life. He's built a rapport and a reputation in the public square, in his music and his interviews, where he's spoken out of a place of vulnerability, transparency, that he has. It didn't knock him too many down. It didn't knock him down too many notches, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? 4. Now is not the time to question that this man is truly a Christian. Hear me out. Titled this video, "What is the remedy for the clandemic?" The reason I took my time with this and I waited, because this weekend I was pissed off with some stuff that's just going on in my own life. And if I feel like sharing, I will sharing, but I didn't share it, so I'm not sharing it. My divinity group knows that. My community group knows that. My people in my close circle know that. And that's all I'm going to speak of. But some of this stuff, once again, that was spoken publicly, I will address and criticize publicly. I had a situation over the last summer in which my pastor has spoken crazy from the pulpit, and I took months and time to, I wouldn't say clap back. I took that time to share my thoughts on that public proclamation publicly. You know what I'm saying? Public proclamations deserve public criticism. I think that's fair. You know what I'm saying? That's the square you chose to take. The square could have been at the dinner table, but now it's in the town square. I've seen over this weekend a lot of people that are saying that Kirk Franklin should have handled himself in a more dignified manner. Okay, I think that's fair. I think that's an expectation that we should all have for each other as disciples of Christ. Tyler, would you say so? Like, yeah, you know what I mean? I think that's fair. Here's my question, though. And once again, I told you this is probably going to shock people. Where was this energy for the last 5 years when we had a man in office that was supposedly a Christian? Supposedly a Christian. That was talking crazy. Calling people that were kneeling. Calling people that were kneeling for people that look like me. Get him off the field. Get that son of a B off the field. He's fired. You know what I'm saying? This man that called these beautiful black women, getting they working on shining their crown. God bless them. Called them effing niggers. Hard R. Okay? He was a youth pastor. We don't have anything to say about that. You know what I'm saying? That's weird to me. That's really weird to me. And the reason I say that that's weird to me is because this has a lot of racial undertone to it. It was a couple of weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago or so. And me and Tyler are fans of this dude. And we are members of his Patreon community. Ruslan did a review of Chance the Rapper's new song. I can't remember the name off of the top of my head. But anyway, there was a lot of criticism from the CHH and just Christian community. They're like, man, he should have spoke a little bit more. He should have had a lot more theology. He should have had a Bible verse here and a Bible verse there. This is that and the third. And one of the things I said in the comment section, I said, it's funny that we expect our Christian rappers to be more pastoral, but we want our pastors to be more Christian rapper. You know what I'm saying? It's the same equivalency when a black woman, when she gets angry, she's labeled as angry. But when a white woman does it, she's bold and has spunk. She's fiery. She has charisma. You know what I'm saying? So let's have just scales. Let's have just scales. Because once again, I just spoke of a man who publicly proclaimed he was a youth pastor. I didn't hear that much. I heard from Pastor Roy this weekend. If Ruslan said something of people I follow, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Pastor Roy, shout out to Pastor Roy of Savage News. He spoke of this. If Ruslan spoke of this over the last couple of days and I missed it, I'm sorry. But I haven't heard a lot about that instance. As I also have not seen the public criticism from certain individuals in the church. When Christianity is in the public square, the Bible in which the life that we subscribe to was written for the public square. It was to be lived out in the public square. You know what I'm saying? So we're supposed to live it out. Like I said it earlier, and I might put it on a t-shirt. What you do in public, you practiced in private. I firmly believe that. You know, what you did in the basketball game, you practiced in the gym. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't do what you did in the game if you ain't do what you did in the gym. Talking to us for a second. A lot of us, you know, we publicly criticize shortcomings because we lack grace to our brothers and sisters, or I'll say this, our brothers and sisters that we do not we have a bias towards in public because we have a bias and criticism about them in private. In the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You know what I'm saying? That man at the beginning of this video, the beginning of this podcast, he thought his mic was muted. So I showed 2 instances. You know what I'm saying? I showed 2 instances of people in their comfort zone. You know what I'm saying? How they really act. I have no idea if Kirk Franklin really speaks like this. He just might to his son. That I have no idea of the depth of their relationship. I don't know. But if I'm going to cancel Kirk Franklin for that, then I need to cancel my mother. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? And I've called Tyler pissed off. I need to be canceled. And Tyler's a lot nicer than I am, but probably Tyler needs to be canceled. You know what I'm saying? Everybody. I mean, the goodness of God is that we have not been killed at our last moments. I always tell people, if God killed me at my worst or killed us at our worst, hell would have bunk beds. That's the goodness of God, yo. That is the grace for growth in which God gifted to us when his son died for us. We had to be given grace because we weren't equipped to get on the cross or everybody be dead. We're not perfect. I am not perfect. But just scales. Like I said, publicly, when our public witness was getting Nate Robinson. Yeah, I keep using Nate Robinson. I'm sorry, yo. Our public witness got Nate Robinson and compromised in the public square. January 6th. Jesus saves flags. Braveheart's cousin, the shaman, is preaching, God bless you. Please anoint us in this righteous mission. No. There was no God in that, but he quoted God. You know them of the fruit that they bear or the tree in which they grow out of the dirt. Man was a Christian. Why do we do this? And I'm speaking to everybody that proclaims the name of Jesus, but let's just speak on the grand scheme of things. Why is it okay to criticize? Once again, I'm gonna just say this: why do we want our black artists to stop being so edgy and be more pastoral, but we want our pastors to be more edgy? Sounds like bias to me. Sounds like a little racist to me. A lot of us think that, I can't be racist because I would know if I was being racist, as if we weren't born into sin and we sin on accident all the time. You know what I'm saying? We were born sinners. Walked in here with 2 left feet. We walked in this world with two wet feet dripping behind the ears. What you talking about? The pride in which that people think that when they have to be doing something intentional for it to still be wrong. Let me ask you something. If I'm speeding in an area in which I did not know the speed zone, but I am speeding and an officer pulls me over, do you think he's going to care if I told him, well, officer, I didn't know it was a 55 as I'm going 95? No. He's going to give me a ticket. And just because the intent was not there does not negate the decision that was made. It's like shooting a gun but not having a target in mind. That bullet's going to fall down eventually. And just because you didn't intend on where the bullet landed doesn't mean you didn't shoot the gun. So I'm really concerned. I am really, really concerned because I see everybody's got their voice box now. Let me sit up a little bit. I see everybody's got their voice box now because a lot of people were quiet. Boy, people from my old church were quiet after January 6th. Kirk Franklin, though, we got a lot to say. We need to carry ourselves in dignity and walk in fruitfulness and respect in the fruit of the Spirit. All right, cool. Keep that same energy when the people do or don't look like you. This is a sickness. And it's really, really real. It is in our church. It is in our walls. It is in our pews. I have not been more exposed to bias and bigotry ever. And the most I've ever been exposed to bias and bigotry ever in my life. Until like the last 5 years. But better yet, probably in the last like 6 months. Let me see. When did Biden get elected? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's been crazy for me. I was telling my community group earlier, yo, like, I just felt numb. And I think the reason I felt numb is because the stretch of trauma I've experienced over the last 15 months, of being a Christian and being heartbroken because people that look like me are being brutalized and the church is complicit with it. Heartbroken because it's coming from my own worship grounds, my own stomping grounds, as far as my home church. Being heartbroken because, you know, simply because of the fact that I'm a black man in America, and it seems like we always got to get the bad end of the stick. You know, we're being hunted like dogs. You feel me? We got to call each other kings and queens because we get treated like dogs for wanting to be human. Flat out. Why do you think we have to say that, yo? Why do you think we have to say, sup king, sup queen? It's because we get treated like dogs for trying to be human. How crazy y'all looked on Twitter. Y'all look goofy as hell. Goofy. Kirk Franklin, as if he is any different from any of the 12 in the Bible. I'm not going to pick and choose which one he is because I always pick Paul and Peter. You know what I'm saying? I'm trifling. I am righteous, but boy, I'm ratchet. I'll keep it $1.50 with you. But I can say that publicly. I can say that publicly because God has done a work in my life privately. And I'm not going to say this publicly if I don't believe it privately. And privately and publicly, I want to be known for saying this. The church has no right to speak of the sickness of this world until they get rid of the sickness in their church. House to house, pew to pew. Man's first ministry is his family. So before we talk about how our neighbors get down in the kitchen and how they cook their food and what happens at their dinner table, check the people and check yourself and keep yourself accountable and submit to the people you bake bread and break bread with. So I'm just saying, it's just kind of funny. It's funny that we know how to criticize our leaders now. To me, Kirk Franklin, he didn't change in my eyes. I actually relate to him a lot more now, which is funny. And that's not saying like, good for you for cussing your son out. And I'm going to keep it real with you. Sometimes we need to be cussed out. I'm not saying God cusses at me, but God be talking to me. God be talking to me like he my homeboy. God be talking to me like we boys. He's my best friend. That's what depth in relationship. You couldn't talk to me like that if you was a stranger. What? Boy. I can't talk to my brother Tyler how his sister talks to him. We ain't there yet. I can't swim in those waters because I'm not equipped. I'm in shallow ground. I know him on a surface level. You know what I'm saying? And I intend to keep knowing him and keep growing to know him in depth and deeper to deeper. But I can't speak on a thing if I don't know about a thing. We don't know anything about Kirk's family except for what we have just recently seen and what he has shared with us and what has been shared with us. So I'm not even going to say that Kirk was in the wrong for that. I don't know what's going on. Like I said, if we got to cancel Kirk, man, we got to cancel that white man, that white pastor that prayed for curses on people because of an election, as if our faith is tied to Caesar. Our victory, our salvation is tied to Caesar. We got to cancel that pastor that said that your wife needs to look a certain shape, or she does. There should be a clause in which we break in covenant with one another in marriage. Just scales. Take the fatigue off of 2K and keep that same energy. Okay, this is childish. You gonna call out sin? Call out all sin. Don't pick and choose. just because you like the person, you know? What's that doing for anybody? The church gotta go back to level 1B. Point blank, period. It's actually kind of laughable, honestly. I think it's funny because we look silly. Our public witness even looks even worse even after both incidents. Not even because the fact that Kirk is a Christian and he cussed at his son. I guarantee I will never know how one of my mentors, Ruslan, talks to his son. I'm not going to really know how Pastor Roy talks to his son and his daughters. Pastor Paul talks to his children. I don't think Pastor Jordan has children yet. I don't think so. But I don't know. But off of the fruit that they bear, I know that all the men that I just described are beautiful men of God. That they have been transparent in their shortcomings. Maybe not all of them, but they have, and that's enough for me. And they speak out of conviction. They speak gracefully and always leave room for growth. Because it was really hard for me to be graceful as a black man in this country for the last 4 to 5 years. And there were very people, before I got saved, I would have hit with a steel chair like it's WWF. I'm so serious. Or ECW. You getting barbed wire in the face. But because I know that a God radicalized my way of thinking, renewed my mind, and has changed my heart, pricked my heart, that I could say that I'm going to be 9 years sober come April. I will leave that room for everybody else. So, as disciples of Christ, if you want to start canceling people, you might as well cancel yourself. Because Jesus protested our life, so we weren't canceled.